everyone, it's Mandy. I'm back today with another video for you. A little bit different video today. I feel like I say that every time. Every video is different, but today is extra different. We're doing a frequently asked questions. As some of you know, I also stream over on Twitch, and this is just a list of questions that I most commonly get asked. Hey, Dexter. What's up, buddy? So that's my dog, Dexter. That's not one of the questions. I think people know him. At least over on Twitch they know him, maybe not so much over on YouTube. But that is my dog, Dexter. He's 2 years old. He is a black lab mix. Not sure what else he's mixed with. Want to get him tested eventually. But he is a big part of my life and my Twitch channel. He was my first emo on Twitch, and he's gonna be there forever. He's laying in the sun. Yeah, so this is where I film for YouTube, and this is where I do my streams. I am at my desk, I'm in my office. This is where I spend almost my whole day because this is also where I work. And Dexter's in here with me a lot of the time. Hi, this is Mandy. I'm intercepting the video right now to tell you that there is a giveaway announcement at the end of the video. So if you want to hear about the giveaway, stay till the end of the video. I will be explaining it then. All right, let's jump into the questions. Dexter volunteered to be the first one, and he's now here with me. Okay, first question. Because I play a lot of Final Fantasy games on Twitch, I often get asked, what is my favorite Final Fantasy game? And the answer is probably the most disappointing answer in the bunch, and it's that I don't know. I don't know. I think I have it narrowed down, and this is what always happens. I always say I have it narrowed down to 2 games, not to Final Fantasy 2. I haven't played Final Fantasy 2. Not sure if I will. That's another story. I think I have it narrowed down to Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 7. Both games I have streamed. Both games I absolutely adore. I think Final Fantasy 6, it left me with maybe not as good of a first impression as Final Fantasy 7, but oh man, it's been a year since I played it now, and I've already replayed it. I've already gone back to do more things that I missed my first playthrough. As a blind playthrough, it was super fun. As a second playthrough, it was also so satisfying. A very fun game for me to just pick up for 10 minutes here and there, do a little bit of grinding, have some fun with the characters, and see the different abilities between them. There are so many amazing characters in Final Fantasy VI, and revisiting that game was just wonderful. I had so much fun playing it for a second time. Now, Final Fantasy VII, I also have to include it as one of my favorites because I love it so much. And anytime I consider something else being my favorite, Final Fantasy VII pops into my mind, and it's like, hey, you love me. Don't forget. So I know Final Fantasy VII is potentially my favorite, but it's just so hard to pick between the 2 of them. I think I do have to narrow it down to the 2 of those, though. Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII are top 2. I refuse to pick one. Those are my top 2. And then after that, 8, 9, and 10 are definitely after that. I'm not sure which one. I think I'll give it to 8. Part of that is because I feel like 8 is so underappreciated, and it's a brilliant game. I love it. I love so many things that you can do with it. You can really customize your gameplay experience so much. There's so many choices you make that changes the way you play the game, and I love that. I love that in a game. I really love Final Fantasy VIII. There are not a ton of characters from it that I think are that well written, and that is pretty much the only flaw I think it has. I think it has a great main character in Squall. He's brilliant. I love the way his character is written. I love going from hating him to empathizing with him and to relating with him by the end. Yeah, I do. I love Squall. Squall really carries that game for me. But the other characters, Rinoa as an exception, yeah, I do like Rinoa, and I like her story, and I like their romance, and I like the way it's told. Some of the others are a little lackluster in comparison. Except, oh man, there are some good characters in it still too, though. Yeah, it really just, that game, I love it. It's really good. The only thing that I think Final Fantasy 7 and 6 have over it is the writing, the character development. and not leaving Squall out of it. I think Squall is very well done. I think some of the other characters that you consider secondary characters, their writing isn't quite as developed. Where in 6 and 7, I think they do a better job with a well-rounded cast, I'll say. Another frequently asked question I get, what is my favorite game? And I always answered Kingdom Hearts. Hey, buddy. Because that's what got me into gaming. Kingdom Hearts is the reason I play video games. And for that reason, I think I still have to keep it there. I still have to say Kingdom Hearts. But I am being introduced to such a wider variety of games from streaming and from playing on YouTube, which I love. People recommend games to me all the time that I never would have played and are outside of my comfort zone. And I've had a great time doing that. It's been really, really incredible. I often get asked, what was my first console? And the answer there, like, the first family console I had as a kid was actually an Atari 5200. So I don't know if that counts, but that is definitely my first console. My first experience, or my first memory of a game that I played was Super Breakout, which was super fun on that Atari. I love that game. And you know, that's the kind of game that exists all over the place. And I remember in the early days of the internet, there was like, I had a GeoCities site, and there was a little plugin to have a version of that game on your GeoCities page, and that was fun, and I loved it. But video games have always been part of my life. My parents didn't really play them. They played that Atari, and then never anything else after that. My dad got us a Super Nintendo when, I don't remember how old I was, but I was very, very young. I played that with my sisters, played a lot of Mario, played so many games, but never an RPG until much, much later. I didn't know RPGs existed. I didn't know what they were about. I didn't know that I would love them so much. Part of me really wishes I had gotten into them at a younger age because I would have just had a blast. But part of me also thinks maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe that the kid version of me just would have not picked up on all of the great things in the RPG genre. So who knows? Maybe I found them when I was meant to find them. And then after that, we had a PS2, and my uncle gifted me a copy of Kingdom Hearts. And from then on, I was just sold on video games. I was obsessed. So Kingdom Hearts, my experience, I knew it was a little bit of a different type of game, and I didn't know if I would like it, but you know, I had Disney characters, let's give it a shot. So I started playing it, and actually what pulled me in were Sora, Kairi, and Riku. You get to know them immediately, the very, very beginning of the game on that island. Oh man. I'm just thinking back to the first time I saw the intro of Kingdom Hearts. To me, it was so mysterious, and it just had this quality that I can't quite describe. Not completely happy. It did not have a happy tone. Kingdom Hearts did not have a happy tone. A very mysterious, almost dark tone, which I wasn't expecting, and I still love that tone. I think some of the later games don't do it as well, but that first Kingdom Hearts game, oh, it's perfect. I love it so much. It really hooked me from the beginning. I was invested in the characters. The Disney stuff was also fun for me at the time. Over time, I've gotten to like the Disney stuff in Kingdom Hearts a little bit less, and I still am in love with the original characters in Kingdom Hearts. I love that universe. I love the characters they've created. It's so good. And from there, I played the first couple worlds in Kingdom Hearts. I got stuck on the Tarzan world. Put the game down for about 6 months, then decided I'll just come back to it. Beat the boss I was stuck on. Don't want to spoil anyone, but beat the boss I was stuck on, and then continued. Played the rest of the game, totally underleveled, totally not understanding how to do abilities or anything like that. And then the only place I got stuck again was, of course, the famous Riku fight. And oh my goodness, do I have that cutscene memorized. I think we all do, anyone who played it back in the day. You couldn't skip cutscenes. And that Riku fight was hard. I mean, it still is hard. But back then for me, that I was so challenged. And that is the boss fight that I credit with addicting me to video games because I was determined to beat Riku. I was going to finish this game. I was way too invested in the characters, way too invested in the story. I was not letting this Riku defeat me. And it took me so many tries, but I did get it. And then I went on to beat the game. And oh man, the gamer that it unleashed in my soul, I did not know that feeling until I beat Riku and beat the game. That satisfactory feeling, there's nothing like it than beating a boss in a video game that you've struggled with and doing it on your own, figuring it out for yourself. And here we are, under-leveled. That should have been my username. Speaking of usernames, another common question. You know, I'm not even going off a list. These are just in my head. I'm just going through a typical stream in my head and what questions I get asked. But here's one. Why Mandersnatch? Why are you called Mandersnatch? And I lied earlier when I said that I had the most disappointing answer, but this is the most disappointing answer, and it is just because it came to me and I wanted to start streaming and I needed a name. My name is Mandy. And for some reason, I really, really wanted to incorporate my real name into my username without just being like Mandy76221 or whatever. So I added Vandersnatch and became Mandersnatch. I'm not particularly attached to the Bandersnatch from literature at all. I just knew of it and went from there. I didn't know it was a Final Fantasy enemy. I had no idea. It works out because I have ended up streaming a ton of Final Fantasy games and I love Final Fantasy, but I had no idea at the time. So that's a happy accident and just a coincidence. What else do I get asked all the time? What games am I streaming next? So right now I'm streaming Final Fantasy XII and The Last of Us 2 because I am finally a variety streamer. This has been my goal since the beginning of streaming, a year in, and now I've achieved it. I'm streaming 2 games at the same time, which I've never successfully done before. So we'll see how that continues to go, but I'm really enjoying streaming 2 different games and alternating between the 2, so I might continue with it. But yeah, right now Final Fantasy XII, The Last of Us 2. I will go on to play Final Fantasy 13. Some other games that I have been recommended so many times and have always intended on playing but have not gotten to yet are Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Mass Effect. So we've got a lot of games to look forward to on the horizon. There are also Final Fantasy games I want to play. I've already played Final Fantasy X. That was one of my first Final Fantasy games I ever played, which, there we go, another frequently asked question. Final Fantasy X, I will be playing on my stream. It won't be blind because I've already played it, but I have forgotten a lot about it, and I did not play it particularly well my first time, so I'm excited to actually do more effective things with the combat this time around. Oh man, and just compare it to other games now that I've played others, because that was... Okay, I'll officially ask the question, what was your first Final Fantasy? My first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 15. And it is not my favorite Final Fantasy. It is perhaps my least favorite Final Fantasy so far. I do like it. I continued playing Final Fantasy after that. So obviously I like it. It got me interested enough in the series to play more of them. And I really did enjoy the experience. I think it is a good game. After that, I played Final Fantasy X, which I kind of prefer. I know I can't actually say it's my first Final Fantasy game, but it's so different. Final Fantasy 15 is just so different. That Final Fantasy X, I have to say, is my first of the more typical Final Fantasy games, I guess. Since Final Fantasy 15 is such an outlier, I have to credit 10 with something. I'm not sure what to call it. It's not exactly turn-based. To me, at the time, I considered it turn-based. It is closer to turn-based than any game I had played at that point. So of the turn-based adjacent games, that was my first. And I loved it. Oh man, I loved the story. The story blew me away. And I had known a couple spoilers going in. I had heard things just from being the nerd that I am and tracking video games and reading forums and listening to podcasts. Man, you guys don't even know how many podcasts I listen to about video games, but I had picked up on spoilers along the way. And so it's a spoiler that's fairly early on in the game, and I won't go into it right now because I don't want to spoil anyone else. But when we get into my playthrough, we can chat all about it. Hi, it's me again, Mandy in the future, editing this video, and I have very exciting news that I need to tell you all. So there is currently a sale. Final Fantasy VII Remake is 34% off right now. It's a great time to get your copy if you haven't gotten it yet. But there is also a very exciting opportunity to win a free copy. Square Enix reached out to our community and has given us 10 games to give away. That's right! I'm so excited about this. I will be giving away 10 copies of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the digital deluxe version, next week during my streams. So if you want to win a copy, all you have to do is join my stream Tuesday and Thursday, and there will be a giveaway. It's very simple to enter. I will explain during the stream, but you just need to be there. You need to be able to type a very, very easy command in chat to enter the giveaway. And this will happen 5 times throughout the stream, both nights, so you can't miss it. I will be announcing it very clearly when it's about to happen so you don't miss a thing. So don't worry about it, just enjoy the stream. I'm gonna be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, going for that platinum trophy. We're getting pretty close. So join the stream and you won't miss the chance to win. I'm really excited about this. Odds are pretty good that you can win a copy. So join us. I'm very excited to have this opportunity. Thank you to Square Enix. This is to coincide with the sale. 34% off. It's a great deal. Great time to get the game. I'm so excited to be able to share it with some of you guys that haven't gotten a chance to play yet. And those of you who have watched my playthrough, I appreciate you so much. Some of you have come over to Twitch to watch a live stream since then. And whenever I hear that, it makes me so happy. So to all of you on YouTube, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching me and for subscribing, liking the videos, commenting on the videos. It really means so much to me. We have grown a lot in the past few months. So nothing but love from me. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys next week for the giveaways. I'm so excited. See you guys again soon. Bye. So I think that's all the frequently asked questions for today. I guarantee that I missed some. So if you have any questions you'd want me to do in a follow-up video, please leave them below in the comments. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday on Twitch. My username there is Mandersnatch, and I will see you guys again soon.